At least 73 colleges and universities in the state of Indiana have moved to a tobacco-free campus in recent years. At first, these smoking and vaping bans have garnered some resistance from students and staff. Officials at IvyTech Fort Wayne, Indiana Tech, and Purdue Fort Wayne say that the move was to create a more healthier environment. At the time, it garnered a lot of controversy back in the day. Take a look at any college or university. Many years ago, you saw students and staff smoking and or vaping on campus. If you attend Purdue Fort Wayne or attend here at IvyTech and want to smoke on campus, no. Not allowed. You have to smoke on the sidewalk. And according to city ordinance here in Fort Wayne, that is city property. And according to Fort Wayne city ordinance, sidewalks are considered city of Fort Wayne property. Administrators at IvyTech, Indiana Tech, and Purdue Fort Wayne began cracking down since 2009 and eliminated smoking on campus, college vehicles, even parking lots.
The whole principle behind having smoke-free air policies, whether they're in housing or whether they're in, public places and private businesses, wherever they are, the whole point of them is to protect the health of the people living there or working there or doing business there. It's to say we want to create and maintain and protect a healthy environment for folks.
Some students and staff I spoke with agree with the idea on how it will be enforced. Violators could be disciplined by the dance students, at least at Purdue University-Fort Wayne and Indiana Tech. But at IvyTech?
What do you think about IvyTech's smoking ordinance that went into effect in 2009?
Well, I have the policy here in front of me, and I was not here when it went into effect. Were you here, Jennifer?
No.
So I know that Fort Wayne has its, citywide smoking ban, but I think ours predated it. I'm not sure. And it pretty clearly explains the purpose. But generally it's that we serve a diverse student body. Everybody has different needs here amongst our students. And so the best way to keep everybody safe is to just not allow smoking on campus, so that those folks who do have, any type of medical issues or even just, personal issues where they don't want to be exposed to secondhand smoke, that they would not have to choose between their education and their health and safety. So because we're an open access institution, we have to make sure that we're doing everything within our power to serve everyone and to give everyone access to being able to come to class safely and participate and get the most out of their classroom experience.
Okay, do you think the policy is effective?
I do. For the most part, we have very few problems with people adhering to it. If we do, it's kind of at the beginning of a semester, and then once we say something, they're all good.
Okay, all right. If you were in a class with a professor or a student and that particular professor or student was outside smoking, would you feel comfortable by telling them to move away from the door and not smoke?
I do feel comfortable doing that, and I have.
Okay. Do you see any positives or negatives of the smoking ban?
I think it's definitely positive for everyone. Again, it's looking out for everybody. If there's any negatives, it is for obviously people that want to smoke, but they also understand.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, personally, I am not a smoker, so for me, it's only positive, I don't have to worry. It's just one more place where I know I'm not going to encounter secondhand smoke. But I think as an institution, I think there are some folks who would have a difficult time coming to campus if they knew that they would be surrounded by secondhand smoke, because they may have, medical issues or just personal choice issues that they don't want to be exposed to it. And that for me is a thing there are so many things that we can't control that are barriers for our students, that seems like one that we can control and make the space a little safer and more comfortable for them. So, I would hate to think of someone not being able to access higher education because of, them being worried about their health or safety.
People really felt about IvyTech's smoking ban when it passed. Some students were angry or upset about the smoking ban. Was it really a big issue back in 2009 as it is in 2022?
Sometimes
I don't honestly know what the response was from students or employees at the time.
we weren't here. But usually when something is brand new, people, they have to adjust to it. And I think they have.
I mean, I do remember broadly the conversation in the community around our city's, smoking ban, that it would impact businesses, that it would, it was sort of infringing on people's, personal rights. But, that kind of cuts both ways. And when there's enough evidence that secondhand smoke is, that smoking is not healthy for people generally, but also secondhand smoke is unhealthy, then I think, the community then has a responsibility to protect those who choose not to smoke personally, but also don't want to be exposed to it, in a secondhand fashion. So I do remember that conversation just generally in the community, because I lived here in Fort Wayne at the time, but I don't know exactly what was happening in IvyTech, and with the students here.
Okay, because one of the primary reasons for the smoking ban at IvyTech is basically about the health of fellow students and faculty at IvyTech. What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, my thoughts are that the college has the best interests of the students in mind, at heart. That I'm glad that the college took into consideration the students' safety on things that aren't necessarily directly related to the classroom instruction, but the environment in which they receive that instruction, and that the college, takes responsibility for those spaces also, and those experiences for students, because we know that, it isn't just what happens when you walk through that classroom door, it's all the things in and around that help you be successful at IvyTech. And so I guess for me, my feelings about it is that, I'm glad that the college, took a stand here and said, we've looked at all the evidence and we're going to do what we feel is best for our students, and put a policy in place, and then really, enforce that policy across the system. Now that was, many years ago, and the world has changed, in such a way that generally finding public spaces where smoking is allowed is a little bit more difficult. And it's more normalized for people to expect to not encounter smoking, versus, even 10, 15 years ago, when it was a little bit more normal for you to have to ask for the non-smoking section. Now it's sort of, I think it's just more normalized that you're probably not going to be able to smoke in public.
I reached out to students at IvyTech about the smoking ban, and a lot of them did not want to talk on camera or said no comment. I also reached out to officials at Indiana Tech about their smoking ban. and I have yet to hear back from them. I also reached out to Purdue Fort Wayne, and the request for an on-camera interview was effectively denied. However, I did get a statement from Jeff Thomas, the Senior Director of Marketing Relations at PFW, stating that, quote, I began working at Purdue Fort Wayne in November 2019, which means I have no historical knowledge of our campus's smoking ban. In addition, there's been a lot of turnover since Purdue Fort Wayne and Indiana University-Fort Wayne became independent universities on July 1st, 2018. He also goes on to say, for a vast majority of the faculty working at Purdue Fort Wayne today, this has been a smoke-free campus for the entirety of their employment, end quote. Well, that wraps things up for part 2 of this Ava Zinn Wants to Know investigation. I'm Ava Zinn, reminding you to help control college education. Have them immunized, and may Fort Wayne's good news be yours.